what is going on, everybody? My name is Louie, aka Night Flames, and today we're gonna be checking out a new mod that I found called Kingdom Keys. So let me show you the mod. Give me a sec. So yes, I am playing Kingdom Keys, which is a mod that adds Keyblades to Minecraft and a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff. So yeah, so you have like spells, you have dry forms, you have the organization, you have many cool things in this mod, and I'm going to check it out today. Another mod that I have is Epic 5, which it adds more style to it, makes it really cool. So if you're wondering why I'm probably going to be playing like third person, that's going to be why. Now, another thing that you can add to Kingdom Keys, if you want to give more variety, more powers, more abilities, stuff like that, is Kingdom Keys Remod. This adds new forms, new magic, new Keyblades, and like I said, it adds a bit more to it. There's also some moves from Final Fantasy and Dream Drop Distance, and yeah, it's really cool. You should definitely check it out. Again, you can find it on Curse Forge. Just search Kingdom Hearts and you'll find it. But yeah, so let's get started. So let's make a new world, and I'm gonna make it. Oh shoot! What am I doing? All right, so let's create a new world. But yeah, so let's do survival. Mine. Ooh, that's fine. Also, I misspelled that. Okay, how to get... I'll just put MC then. And MC. Okay. Everything's good to go. Let's create a new world. Yep. Sweet. And I'll show you guys the realms. I'll show you all of the stuff with dry forms. I'll show you everything I can. And yeah, honestly, I love this mod. It's very fun because you feel pretty powerful. Because the cool thing about this mod is you're pretty much able to one-shot a lot of things once you keep getting more strength, magic, AP, and defense. So yeah, you're really strong. I'm not going to bore you guys with getting all the hearts for the organization, so I'll probably be using a lot of commands, and this one's not going to be as interesting as my vampire one, but yeah. So once you load into the world, hang on, give it a sec. Jeez, it is so laggy. Okay, hang on, let me make sure. Yep. So yeah. Give it a sec. It's just being a bit laggy. So yeah, you'll see that we have a command menu to the side which says attack, question mark, items, and question mark. And of course it has the sounds from Kingdom Hearts. Now, if you're trying to play this world normally, here we go. You'll find these blocks throughout the world. You have, your danger box, you have your bug boxes, which are the red and the purple boxes. There's also prize boxes. There's many different types of boxes. And if you look to our right hand corner, you'll see an icon of you and a health bar. But yeah, so let's get started. So you're probably wondering, what do I need to do first? Well, first you gotta open your menu, and to do that you press M on the keyboard, and you'll get, before you can open the menu, you must make a choice, and then click OK, and you'll go to the Station of Awakening, dive into Heart. So if you played Kingdom Hearts, this is where you first make your selections of everything. Don't quote me on this. I don't yeah, I don't know what how the choices affect gameplay. Look up guides to that. But for me, I always just choose the sword because it's a sword. Plus, I love the power of the warrior, physical courage, a sword of terrible destruction. Is this the power you seek? So you choose a power, and it says your path is set. Now you must give up a power. This is basic Kingdom Hearts 1, but if you haven't played it, it's understandable. Now my second choice, what I tend to do is I give up the wand, the power of the mystic. Inner strength, a staff of wonder and ruin. You will give up this power, yes. So now it says you've chosen the power of the warrior, you've given up the power of the mystic. Is this the path? Is this the form you chose? And then you can always change it by pressing maybe not. But for me, I click yes. And boom. And then you'll get another achievement, which is a sword, a shield, and a staff, which is you diving into your dream. And the first weapon you'll get is a wooden Keyblade, which the models look really good. I love the modeling. In the hotbar it looks a bit off, but yeah. So this is the Keyblade that Ventus is given in the beginning of his journey. Jeez, the lag is bad. I don't exactly like that we're in a snowy area. Ah, here we go, the plains. That's easier. So yeah, as you fly around the world, of course, you'll keep spawning blocks. Now, if you're playing this normally, you need to find a prize box, which are... Ah, here we go. Found them. My character will... Ah. So yeah, the star ones are prize boxes. And I'm pretty sure there's different rarities, so you can get like items for synthesis and a bunch of recipes to get keyblades and armor. You have your coated boss, damage, danger arts. You have many different types of boxes. But yeah. Anyways, ooh, we're next to a cherry blossom. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so now that we have this, you're probably wondering, what do we do next? Well, that's entirely up to you and what you want to do. But however, if you're going to use the Epic Fight mod, you probably want to get all of these books, which are your movements, your skill books, which gives you like your guarding, your movement, and different abilities, and then your jump. And I don't fully remember what this is called off the top of my head, but yeah. So grab the books, and once you have your row filled, you can start opening them and learning them. So this one tells you its role, so you just click learn. This one's step. This one's guard, so it tells you what kind of weapons you have. So these are the main ones for the Epic Fight mod. But yeah. Of course, it does work with the Keyblades, which is nice. But yeah, so see how I'm trying to get Impact Guard, but it says I need to learn Guard first. So you press K, and that's how you open this menu. Unless you could always set it to a different button, so don't always quote everything I say, because again, your buttons might be a bit different. So yeah, you have your 3 passive abilities. So let me do that. And of course, there's more books as you do more of the mods. As you get like more different mods for this, because there's many different Epic Fight mods out there. So definitely keep looking around. But yeah, if you just want to do like the fight styles for this, then yeah. But anyways, so now let's just keep getting the rest of the books we need to learn more skills. Honestly, for me, I tend to have like a select few books that I actually get, and select skills that I use. But of course, everyone's different. Ah, right. This is your identity one. Okay. Bink. Dink. Alright, so now that you've learned all the books, you can get rid of them. And now you really are free to choose whatever you want to do in this world. That's what's really unique about this, is you really have a lot of freedom. Now, before I do anything, before you do anything, press M, and boom, you have your menu. So here you'll get equipments, you have shot locks, you have pauldrons. I might not be saying that right, don't quote me on that. And then of course you have your weapon. Here is where you'll see everything. So this is everything in your inventory. You have abilities, which are all of these abilities. Of course, if you want to do like a 0 experience, you can. I don't tend to. But anyways, so yeah, here you have your guards and of course your counterattacks for right now, since you're probably only level 1. And then customize, so you have shortcuts, you have your magics, which right now we don't have. You have your party, so if you have like multiple people playing on the same world as you, you can create a party with your people, and yeah. You have your status, which shows you your level, experience until the next level, your health, your MP, your AP, your drive gauge, your strength, magic, defense, and your resistances, which of course can only be gained once you get stuff. Journal, as of right now, doesn't really do anything. Combat styles, this is only if you have the Epic Fight mod, so you can choose Sora, Roxas, Riku, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. And basically what it does is it changes how you swing the Keyblade. For me, I like to choose Riku. And then of course dual is if you're dual wielding Keyblades, which the only two are based off of Roxas. So either you can do it based off KH2 or Kingdom Hearts 2, or you can do it based off Days, which I like the Days, it looks cooler. Plus in general, I love Days. I do hope that they make it different. But yeah, and then you have your config, which is just a lot of stuff if you want to just change around some things, make some things different. And yeah, that's about it with that. And now you have your synthesis tier, which is right now currently level D. And it goes all the way to SSS, so basically kind of like Devil May Cry. You have your money, which of course is how you buy items, do all that. You have your hearts, which is only for the organization. The hearts only concern if you're in the organization. You have your world time, which is how long you've probably been playing on the world. You have your global time, which I think that's how long again you've also been playing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for menu. Now let's begin setting up you as a character. Now for items, I would always suggest having high drive recovery because health and other things, while it's nice, high drive recoveries are really helpful because if you want to use your drive forms a lot, it's nice to have. Armor is really up to you, what you want, what you prefer to wear. But do note that some armors give you specific abilities, some have higher stats, like AP and stuff like that. So again, it really, like, whatever fits your playstyle, whether you use magic, defense, whatever fits your playstyle. So for me, I always go with the one in here, the Remind. And I always get the Ultimate Ribbon, and I get these two hearts, Dark Heart and Rage Heart. which allow you to use dark form and rage form. And then also light heart, which allows you to use light form. And then there's also these heart binders. Now, nothing's heart binder is really helpful, especially if you have a lot of hearts, because it increases your strength based on how many hearts you've collected. And then friend's heart binder is really like how many friends you have in a party, but it's definitely interesting. So like I said, again, always do it based off what you and your playstyle is like. But yeah, so first let me get these ultimate ribbons. And then let me get the dark heart, raging heart, this, and the light heart. Alright, so and then how you equip them is you press M, you go into your items and equipment. Now unfortunately right now I don't have any armor or anything, because again, right now I'm only level 1, but I'll fix that here in a sec with command blocks. Because trying to do this, it does take a while unless you create like a infinite pit of heartless, which even then still requires a command block. Or you get to the dark world, which I actually don't know how to do legitimately. If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, and here is all the selections of tools you can use. So these are based off everything you have as of right now. Now, it really depends on what you want to go for. If you'd rather just be like a Keyblade wielder, just find Moogles and you can trade and get recipes to get the Keyblade chains. That's what you're trying to do, is get Keyblade chains so you can make all Keyblades. And so certain ones will lock with certain tiers of recipes. And yeah. Now you're probably wondering, how do I unlock magic and the dry forms? That is unlocked via these Spire spells. Now if you hold them down and keep clicking them, you can instantly level up the ability. And yeah, it's very helpful. Another thing that's really helpful for when you're with the organization is the proof of heart, because this is the only way to leave the organization. Once you're in the organization, which I'll show you, but yeah, another thing that's helpful, in my opinion, is power boost, magic boost, defense boost, and AP boost, which it's very self-explanatory. It increases your strength, magic, defense, and AP. AP is ability points, just to give you a heads up. Okay, so let's start with our magic, because magic is magic. So you'll get an achievement for getting a spell. But yeah, so now let's grab all of our spells and I'll show you what to do. And I actually didn't even know about this until I watched some videos and saw that you can just do this. So when you right click it, you'll see you unlock fire, and when you right click it again, it upgrades and it upgrades, and then it'll say it's max. So just do it until all of them say max. Some of them you gotta click multiple times, but most of them you only have to really click 3 times. Alright, and then get rid of them. I don't know. Boom. Okay, now let's do the last spell and the basic one, and then I'll get the reminded spells. Actually, may as well. No. Actually, I can do this for at least. So, all these spells are really cool, really powerful, Each one is different. Each one requires a different level of MP. Some of them you don't have to click as many times. Like I said. There we go. Now for the last row. But yeah, so after I'm done getting all the spells, after that, I'm going to get the drive forms and show you those. So this mainly kind of strings off of Kingdom Hearts 2 in the way of the combat style and stuff like that. But, yeah. There are still stuff from like Kingdom Hearts 3, Dream Drop Distance, Days, Birth by Sleep. It strings off a lot of things. Now, some things that don't work, I will let you know this because it's important, are right now, Castle Oblivion and the card system does not work as of right now. And just be aware of what crashes your game, because that will get annoying. But yeah, okay, so now that we have all the spells, let's do our drive farms. Or should we do shot locks? Actually, I'll worry about shot locks here in a sec. But first, let's do drive forms. So once again, with drive forms, you just grab them. You'll get the achievement, do I need a license for it? For having a drive form. And so there are 3 of them. Or 5 of them, sorry. And so you'll have to constantly keep clicking this until it says level 7. And as you'll see, you're getting abilities. And now it's at the max. So if you don't know how to level these up, I'll explain it if you want to do this legitimately. But first, let me do it this way. And then I'll explain it. Because each drive form is different in how you level them up. Ooh, ooh. There we go. But yeah, so let me explain them here in a sec. Because if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts, you're not going to understand how to do this. And that's fair, because not a lot of people know about Kingdom Hearts or have played Kingdom Hearts. And that's, again, that's your opinion, that's your life. I have no control over that. But yeah, okay, so let me explain how you would level up each one of these. But yeah, so first off, let's go into abilities, and you'll see that we can now equip all of these abilities. And you'll also notice that they cost AP, which I'm going to increase here in a sec. But yeah, so Valor Farm. So how you would upgrade Valor Farm is based off how many hits you do in that form. So with your drive gauge, how many hits you do while in that form would determine how you get XP, and you keep doing hits until you're level 7. Wisdom form, if I'm not mistaken, is your next form. That one is based off how many Heartless you defeat. So you want to constantly be killing Heartless, and there's many ways you can do that, which is just your normal attack, you can use magic, it doesn't matter. As long as the Heartless dies and gets defeated, it levels up. Next up, you have Limit Form. Limit Form is unique, as you have to perform the limit combos. Or specials, whatever you really want to call it. And you have to do this a specific amount of times. And of course, you can always check how many times you have to do it in the status. it'll tell you how much it still needs. Master form, you have to collect dry orbs while in master form. So it does kind of suck to level of master form if you in this, because you can't exactly do how it does in normal games. But it does make it more fun, because in this version now you have to do more physical combat, while in the other ones there's ways to cheese it. And now for the last form, final form. Now this one's interesting, because the way you unlock it first off is you need a specific Keyblade, which is the two become one Keyblade, which I will show you here in a sec. Here it is. Two become one. Oh yeah, shoot, I forgot to say that. So once you get a Keyblade, you'll get Am I the Chosen One? But yeah, and now you have a Keyblade. So as you see right now, I'm not in the epic fight, and I'm just swinging it normally, but I'll fix that here in a sec. But yeah, so with two become one, every time you access the drive, you'll have a chance to transform into final form or anti-form as a punishment. Anti-form is the punishment for using drive forms too much. Now there's a lot of math into it, but if you want to figure it out, honestly I would suggest looking up a video about anti-form and how it works. But in a sense, try not to use as many drives as possible, unless you really do like using them, or if you're playing like harder difficulties, but that's in that case too. And this, you don't really have to worry about, I think, turning into anti-form, unless you do. I don't know, I haven't personally seen anti-form, but yeah. Okay, now the last thing for how to level up is final form. And how you level up final form is you need to defeat nobodies. So nobodies are interesting because they're not exactly heartless, and I don't know where they spawn, but once you defeat them, as long as you just have to defeat them, same as the heartless. And this also does count for bosses, be aware of that. So there is a boss you can fight, and that is Marluxia in this. So if you fight her and defeat her, oh I know, him, sorry. You defeat him, jeez, English. But yeah, once you defeat him, you will level it up. And you can do this a lot of times. It's a lot easier in the Kingdom Hearts. In this, I don't know how easy it is, but also I don't know where you can fight nobodies. Anyways, oh, look, a friend arrived. So this little creature right here is a Moogle. So you talk to him, he has shops where he sells you have your armor, your potions, your rings, and sometimes weapons and materials and tents, which are like AP boosts and stuff like that. But yeah, and then he's also where you'll synthesize Keyblades, unlock recipes, and stuff like that. Okay, so now that we've done that, now to unlock the shot locks. Shot locks are a sort of lock on, except for you do an attack while locking onto an enemy. So let me find them. Oh wait, I forgot. Okay. Actually, I should probably hit level 100. So let me get a command block. Oscar will do. No, not really. I'll keep it normal, just so I don't crash or make a weird glitch like I did in one of my runs. So we'll place the command block. So you do Kingdom Keys. You do XP, give, and then you do your name. So it's easier just to set it to that, and then you do your name. And then you click done. And then you need some way to activate it. It could be a lever, a button, whatever you choose. I'm going to do a button just for simplicity. And boom. Oh shoot. My health is low. Okay, where is... Shoot. That is one problem with this, is you can't exactly see a lot of your spells. Okay, hang on, let me heal so I can get rid of that sound, I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, you can only hoard up to 4 items in your hotbar. Now, how do you use items? So you scroll down. Now, you'll probably set this to wherever you want. You'll click this, and you click it again, and that's how you use items. I'm just going to use all of them because I don't care. Okay, now let me real quickly get a full drive recovery, and let me times this by 5. Let me open my menu, equip it. And that restores my drive. Okay, so now let me fill up my inventory with them. But yeah, so you can set the keybinds to wherever you want to. But yeah, okay. Whew. Now that that's done, let me figure out what I want to do next. What do I want to do next? Well, first let me equip all of this. Now, let me show you, I'm going to show you an armor. So I'm just going to use this one since it's my favorite one. I like it a bit more than the other choices because this one, while it's okay, it looks basic. Basic again. Basic again. This one I like because of the color scheme and it works. I don't mind Ericus's and I don't mind Xehanort's, but again, so basic. The UX armor, I don't like it. I don't understand it. Now, of course, there's many other armors, like you have Vanitas's, you have the Vanitas Remnant, and you have Dark Riku. And then you also have the Founders, if you've ever played the games. You have Seesaw Ice Cream, you have the Winter Stick. You also have Music Disc, which are all different songs from Kingdom Hearts. And of course, you have your materials, which, that's helpful for, Jeez, I keep saying That's helpful for synthesis. You have your tier recipes, and then you have your stats stuff to increase your stats. So let me get this to. I'm gonna set it to 550 because that basically means I'll be able to one-shot everything. Now, honestly, you don't really need to set it that high. You pretty much could one-shot a lot of things in general, because strength is ridiculous in this game. But yeah, so I just like setting it to like insanely high levels because I just like doing it. But anyways, so let me do that, and then I'll set my AP up to basically wherever I need it to be. Actually, I'll only go to 500, because that's going to be too long. And I'm being shoved by a pig. That's fine. Jeez. But yeah, anyways, sorry for this part, because this is going to be like the most boringest part. But yeah, as you see, every time you use it, you gain more strength. It's very self-explanatory. But yeah, so now you'll see I have my magic bar, I have my drive gauge, and my health bar is majorly increased as I am doing this. $500. Now I do it with magic. But yeah, so this part's gonna be boring, and I do apologize, but that's just life. There's gonna be some boring parts, but hey, you know, it's fine. Okay, I promise I will get into the more fun stuff here in a sec. But yeah, let me get this all done and dealt with. Now, I'm going to do another command, which is I'm going to give myself hearts, so I can show you the organization. Now, there is one organization member with the Epic Fight mod that will crash your game, and that is Luxord, aka the card guy. Do not try to use the Epic Fight mod with his stuff. Trust me, it will crash your game. And then another thing I'm going to do is set up portals of darkness along with save points and moogles in various locations. But yeah, so once I'm done with all this, and again, I do apologize that this bit is incredibly boring because you're just watching me hold down a button for a good long time. But, again, like I said, you really don't have to do this much. But it does feel nice, and it does help because it just makes all your stats insanely high. Alright, now I just gotta do it with defense. And then I'm gonna do it quite a bit with AP so I can get all the abilities. Now in Kingdom Hearts 3, what I do like about that is you can just turn on an easy menu, which is like if you go to like an easier path and choose the easy path, you can get like a command menu, and that menu basically is so busted. It's overpowered because the abilities are just busted. It basically makes you feel like a god in Kingdom Hearts, which is hilarious, but I like it. But yeah, if you don't want to do that, that's another story. But anyway, so yeah, once I'm done with this, I'm going to show you something really cool. But first, there's another thing I'm going to do, which is get hearts and money. Now, money, that'll come into play only really if you're doing Moogle stuff. Other than that, it really just kind of is there. Doesn't do much. Hearts, again, only really matters if you're doing organization things. Or you have, of course, the hearts are power. Heartbinder. Or the hearts are power. Yeah. If you have that, that's when it matters to have hearts. Okay. Last one. I'm going to get this to fairly high. You really don't need this too high. But again, I'm going to set it to 500 just because I'd rather not take any chances. And I'd rather be able to equip all my abilities. Now, of course, as I said before, Keyblades will have abilities, items will have abilities, armor, equipment. Some things will have abilities, some things won't. As long as you read through everything, you'll see what does and does not have abilities. But yeah, so once I'm done with this, I'm going to show you, well first, I'm going to show you how you have Keyblades. And how you work with the Keyblades. Because it's interesting, because you don't really get, see, you do get a Keyblade, but how it works is different. Because you would think you would craft it normally. No, how you get it is you use the synthesis items and then recipes. Now, like I said, you would find that in the prize boxes, which are the star boxes throughout the world. You mine those, you get a random item, random, and yeah. So, yeah. Sorry. I'm just running out of some things to talk about because right now we're in the boring bit of this video. Okay, now that I'm done with that, let's equip all my items. Let's get rid of the wooden Keyblade since it does not do anything. So let's go into my items and equipment. So yeah, you'll see that you already have 3, Dark Volley, Ragnarok, and Prison Rain. because again, you're meant to be able to choose what kind of character you want to be. Now I'm going to put this, and I'll show you what that does here in a bit. And I'm going to click Dark Heart, Raging Heart, Light Heart, and the Nothing's Heart Binder. And then I'm going to equip all my Ultimate Ribbons. Because for some reason, ribbons are insanely busted in this game, and I don't know why. Okay, so let me put up these. Boom. Okay. So you're probably wondering, what is this thing on my shoulder? That, if you've ever played Birth by Sleep, is it's an armor for Keyblade wielders in Birth by Sleep. So the ones you have for Birth by Sleep characters are, like I said, you have Terras, you have Aquas, Vens, you have Nightmare Ven, which you see is the Nightmare armor in Dream Drop Distance. You have Master Ericus, you have Master Xehanort, you have the UX armor, which I think that's meant to resemble Terra's Lingering Will, but I could be wrong. And so how you equip those is by pressing 8 on your keyboard. It'll make a sound, and you get equipped in the armor of whichever one you chose. And how you de-equip it is by pressing 8. And I forgot to mention, if you're wearing any armor underneath it, it will instantly switch out for the armor you have. Okay, so now let me show you how to get a Keyblade, or how you would get Keyblades with Moogle and the organization portals. So yeah, once you get a Moogle projector, you'll get a sacrifice had to be made. And then you'll have your save points. Now right now, I'm not going to place the dark portals just yet. But first, let's place these two. So your Moogle shop, you'll have your synthesis, which is where you can synthesize items with materials that you gather throughout the world. You have your Keyblade Forge, which is when you have a Keyblade, and you have your material list, which is after you collect a material, you can see what you have. Now how you save is by pressing R, but again, you can always change that. So I'm going to call this Overworld. Set as global visible, which means players can see this, and save. And so yeah, there you go. So that means when you die, you'll come back to this, instead of always having to go back to a bed. Now, how do you get a Keyblade? So like I said, so you'll need a recipe. So let me get you a tier D recipe for right now. I better take this to a Moogle. So, as I said, there are many different versions, and you can craft them in a crafting table to upgrade their tier so you can get better items. And then while right-clicking, you'll see you get new stuff. And then once you get many of them and hold them all down, eventually it will say you have no more recipes to learn. Now you're probably wondering, okay, but how does this help me? Well, once you find a Moogle, and you go to Synthesis, and you go Keyblade, the Keyblade icon, you can now craft Keyblades by finding the materials needed. So you always want to keep track of what Keyblades are needed for what. But yeah, so for achievements, you have obtaining your first keychain, you have attaining the legendary Keyblade, you have upgrading it in the Keyblade Forge, and of course you have obtaining the Organization 13 robes. Now the other achievements, which is Welcome to Game Keys, Is This My Heart, which is deep dive into your heart by pressing the N, then make your choice, a sword, a shield, a staff. You have obtaining your first drive form orb, you have obtaining your first spell magic, you have level up, and then you have level 50 halfway there, and then level 100 at the top. And then a sacrifice had to be made, which was obtain a movable projectile, and then I better take this to a movable is obtaining a recipe. Okay, so now let's get our first Keyblade chain. Now, I like to dress as Dark Riku just because I love his character, I love everything about Riku. He's just a nice guy, and I really do like him. So let me equip the armor. Now, you can really choose any keychain you want. But for me, I'm going to choose his 3 keychains, which are the Keyblade of People's Hearts, and as you see, we got the achievement for getting this. These moves know how to work, which is obtaining your first Keyblade chain, as we saw. And I'm also going to get Soul Eater, and the last one, the Way of Dawn. And so I'll show you how these work here in a sec. But first, I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to grab a few more keychains for my drive forms. Because for 3 of them, you get more Keyblades. You can dual wield Keyblades, which is really cool. So I'm going to do it based off the ultimate weapons for Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. Because, yeah, I just love those ones. So yeah, how you equip them is you go to here, Valor, we're going to do Kingdom Hearts 1, Master, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Final, Kingdom Hearts 3. Unfortunately, they did not do Keyblade changing, which I really think was a missed opportunity, but they might do it in a later update. And now for weapons. So, as you see, NA just means it doesn't have a specific ability tied to that Keyblade. So, I'm going to do Soul Eater because that's his basic Keyblade. And then let me click Dark Volley because, yeah, that's the shot block. And bada bing, bada boom, you're ready to fight. So as you see, I have a command just by wearing the full Dark Riku outfit and also holding the Keyblade, which is Dark Faraga, which is the spell he uses in his fight. But yeah. So if you press G, you summon your Keyblade. And like I said, the models look really good. They did a good job. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you either press... Shoot, which button activates Oh, shoot. Sorry, I actually just did the reaction command. So as you see, that takes away your focus, which is this orange bar right here. Or, which is the orange bar right here. Okay, so is it... here we go. So as you see, right now, I'm in a new fighting stance. And that's because of... pressing... Is it U? I don't know. Is it Y? Anyways. But yeah, so now I am in epic fight mode. So by right-clicking, I am now blocking attacks. And you'll see that I do now custom animation. But yeah, that's my jump. Hang on, I'm gonna fix that because I don't like that one. I like Phantom's Descent. But yeah, okay. So now, real quick, let me go back to my abilities. So yeah, you'll see you'll get a ton of abilities. So let me equip Strike Raid. Let me equip all of these. I'm not gonna say what these do because you can read them. sync blades. This is an ability that allows you to dual wield. And then, yeah. So yeah, you'll see we have dark power, which is allows you to embrace the power of darkness and access dark form. Rage Awaken, which allows you to give into your rage and let your heart blacken with anger and let it empower you, which also gives you rage form. You have Light, which allows you to embrace the power of light and access light form. And Hearts of Power, which is Organization 13 only. The fleeting hearts you've collected are granting you power. This effect scales with the hearts obtained. So the more hearts you get, the more stronger you're going to be. But yeah. And then of course, as you play with these have their own abilities, their own reaction commands, everything. But yeah, okay. Real quickly, I'm going to use a focus recovery, so I can regain all my focus from accidentally using it. Anyways, yeah, okay, so now let me show you another thing. So now that you have the sync play, you click this as long as you have 2 keychains, and you click in another Keyblade. If you're already holding one and you just now put the ability, the Keyblade will disappear. But now, when you click G, 2 Keyblades will spawn at the same time. And this works with Organization 13 weapons, and yeah. So now you'll see you have a new fighting animation based on whichever one you chose. Alright, so if you're wondering what I just did, why does it do that? That's so odd. I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. Okay, sorry, give me a sec. Apparently, I think it's just because of this being a lesser update than the newer one. That's why it's doing that weird glitch with when you use glide. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, okay. We're gonna reload back in. So yeah, be careful of which version you're using, because in the most updated version you cannot use the pendulums. So you just have to be careful with that. But yeah, anyways. So let's put these away for now. And let's get our Organization 13 robe. Again, it doesn't matter which robe you choose. You can be the anti-coat, you can be normal organization, or you can choose Zen's. Whatever, it does not matter. But you just have to wear the full robe to get into the organization. So once you grab the full robe, it will say nobody wore this, as you have obtained the full Organization 13 robe. But yeah, so let's remove the Dark Riku armor, and let's join. Well, first, before we join, let's go into our command block, and let's change this to hearts. And then when we click the button, we now have that many hearts. And now let me also do it with money, because I'm lazy right now. Again, normally you could just, if you really want to do this, you can. And there you go. So now I have a shit ton of money. Sorry, I did not mean first. But now I have a lot of money and a lot of hearts. Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna turn off that music because it is not Kingdom Hearts music. Anyways, okay. So now, let's join the organization. So once you put on the full armor, you've been donned the black robes, and by donning the black robes, you are now a member of the Organization 13. Choose a member of the organization you align with. Your choice will determine the weapons you start with. So, for this, if you want to always be able to use the Keyblade, choose Roxas. If you don't care, you can choose Xemnas, which has the ethereal blades. Zigbar, which has arrow guns. Zaldin, lance. Vexen, shields. Lexius, axe swords. Zexion, the Lexicons. Sax, claymores. Axel, chakrams. Demiki, Styrus. Luxord, cards. Marluxia, scythe. And Larxene, knives. I say start with Roxas. You wish to align with 13 Roxas. It will cost to change this afterwards. To change this after you made your choice. Confirm. So now you'll see we have a new ability in our commands, Portal. So with the Corridor Darkness, or the Organization Portals, when you place them, you can teleport to that new area. I don't know if I'm recording for now. Anyways, okay, so now when you click M and you go to your items, your weapons will now be here. And unfortunately with the Sync Blade, you can turn it off so you can keep your 1, or you can change it to the Keyblade. However, you do lose the Keyblade you were using to fight originally. Now, real quickly, I'm going to grab Oathkeeper. And it will make sense why, if you've played the Kingdom Hearts games, why I'm grabbing the Oathkeeper keychain. But if you haven't, I'm going to explain it. So, Roxas dual wields Oblivion and Oathkeeper. So I'm grabbing Oathkeeper because he has Oblivion in his right arm and Oathkeeper in his left, as seen most of the time. Anyways, I'm getting off track. First, we open items, equipment, and we go to weapons, and you select Roxas. So you'll see hearts cost 1,000 for your basic first weapon. And as you go along, you have to unlock every single Keyblade in its path. And then of course there'll always be like a funny, goofy one, like stick or something else. Now these ones are based on Remind, so if you don't have the Remind, you will not see these, this, or this. And there's a few others, but unfortunately Roxas does not have them. But anyways, so yeah, let's go back and unlock the Keyblades. Now, if you're switching Keyblades, always make sure to, or if you're switching organization weapons, always make sure to unequip the original weapon, which I will show you how to do here in a sec. So yeah, as you fight Heartless, they'll drop hearts. And as an organization member, you collect those hearts and you unlock new weapons. If you played the original days on the DS, or yeah, I think there was one other one, but I don't remember. Okay, so let's go to Oblivion, and again, it works just like any other weapon. You summon it as normal because it's just a Keyblade. You'll still retain your classic Riku unless you change the combat style to Roxas, which I'm going to do. which means you just swing a bit differently. Now let me sync Keyblades. And boom. You are now Roxas. I do wish like the poses would be a bit different, but I don't mind it. But yeah, anyways, now let's go back to our menu and unequip. So how you unequip, oh no, no, you don't unequip, you just put it away. And then you can choose. So I'll show you Zemnis, I'll show you Zigbar, Zaldin, Vexian, Luxor. I'll show you all of them. Unfortunately, I cannot show you his or his. I can't show you Zexians and I can't show you Luxors because Luxors crashes your game and Zexian does not have one. Also, I don't know what his thing does. It does not do anything. His is the most useless, so you can always skip over him if you really, because he is kind of useless. Anyways, okay, let's go to you, unlock. Again, whichever style you like, shit. Excuse my language. Ugh. So whatever style of Keyblade or weapon you like, it's totally up to you. That's what's nice about this, is everything is up to you on how you want to play. Now, if you're going for the organization look from KH2, for Zemnis, you need to get to 3000. For all of them, you need to get to 3001. And the goofy one will either be 3002, and then some will end with 2003. Okay, so let me show you Zemnis. And you'll also have, okay, there's another thing I forgot to mention, and I just realized that I did, is limit. So you click limit, you can do laser circle, laser dome, arrow ring, soul thunder trail, and fast thunder trail. But anyways, so when you press G, as if you have dual blades, you'll have two. Like, I forget you can't glide. Sorry, give me a sec. I forgot that the gliding is still weird. I don't know why. I think it is just because of the version. Makes it weird. Anyways, sorry about that. Okay, so let me rejoin. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so let me show you his fighting style, which is he kind of just swings them around. And then, of course, if you sprint and attack, you have a sprinting attack. Each character's attacks are different. But yeah, I'm not going to show you all of them just because I don't have time. Alright, let's go to our next character, Zigbar. Or aka Lushu if you've played the games. If you haven't, you will understand that reference. Now Zigbar is a bit different, as his weapon more different manner than say Zemnis. Now another thing with Zemnis is if you right click, you can do a shooting laser attack. Because Zemnis loves to shoot lasers, and that's the same thing with Zigbar, except for you use his arrow gun. Alright, so let me show you Zigbar. So you summon it just like normal, G, and you'll notice that there's a 20 near where it says portal, which would also be your attack. Sorry, my headphones are irritating. That indicates your shots. So by right clicking, you shoot an attack, which looks like that. And you can't really attack, because again, you're only really meant to shoot as Zigbar. So once you run out of shots, it takes time to reload. Alright, next member is Zaldin with his lance. So I'm going to unlock all of them just for fun to show, because each model is different. Some of them look like this, but like when you use them it's different. But then some of them you'll see they're full models and it looks really good. Anyways, but yeah, so let me just unlock them all. Also, you kind of have to get to specific versions. And since I'm doing it based off the KH2 editions of how I see them, I'm choosing the weapon that they use in KH2. But yeah, anyways, so press G. You'll have 2 lances. And you attack like that. And you can jab. And then you can kind of spin and block. Oh wait, no, you can throw them. I forgot. Never mind. So yeah, you can throw your lances. And they'll despawn after a while. But yeah. Okay. Next member is Vexian. His is a shield. So his fighting style is a bit different. Because his isn't exactly really meant for fighting. I'm sorry for this bit being boring. But that's there are like some bits of this mod that do get a little bit boring, which is the repetitive having to buy every last single one instead of just being able to select one and buying it that way. That bit I do hate. Anyways, okay. Oh, don't want to do that. So you press G, you can summon your 2 shields, but if you play the game, you'll realize he only has 1. So if you go to abilities, and you turn off Keyblade, you'll only summon your 1 weapon. If you want to stay true to the game. And of course, as you just hold in, yeah. You can attack by doing striking, kind of like stabbing, and then I don't really understand his charge attack. Doesn't make sense in my mind, but eh. Okay, for the next character, it is Lexius. Now, Lexius has a different combat style, and I will show you his dual form and his single form. So, but with Vexian, it acts like a normal shield, except for instead of being in your offhand, it is now in your normal attack hand. But yeah. So, you can always look around the styles, see which one you like. But if you're going for nostalgia, always go for the 3001 one, because that one will always be the one based off Cage. So if you summon it, it acts like a claymore, so the attacks are slower, but they deal a bit more damage. And then you can do like a ground pound, which I don't, or it's more just like a, I think it's meant to do something else, I don't know. I never understood his ability, but also he does summon rocks. Now if I turn on Sync Blade, you'll see his fighting style is a bit different. Which is, he still only fights with 1, but it acts like 2. So while it looks like he's only using 1 because of your basic stance, you're truly swinging too. But yeah. Also, that's another cool thing about the Epic Fight mod, which is the ground wall act. Anyways, next member is Vexian, who unfortunately does not do anything. Epic Fight mod, he doesn't do anything. His bulk doesn't even have an ability. I don't really know what the heck his gimmick is in this mod. I might look up some videos to see if there's anything on it, but unfortunately, I just haven't found anything. This is probably going to be my longest video because I'm going over so much, because this mod is very big and it covers a lot. Oh shoot, I actually forgot to I forgot to. I need to put nope. I forgot to put this. Whoops. Got to put that away. Sorry about that. Okay. So again, you summon it, holds it like normal. You can't attack, and it doesn't do anything. I don't really know what this man's deal is, or what he's supposedly supposed to do with this book. In the games, it kind of like just sucks you in. He doesn't exactly attack with it. I don't really know what it's meant to do. I wish it could tell you. But, yeah, in the Epic Fight mod, it doesn't work. Unfortunately, shoot, how do I return it off? Hang on, let me see my controls and keybinds. How do I return it off? Fight. Oh, it's you. Okay. So yeah, you can just swing it in normal, but in Epic Fight, you cannot do anything. Oh shoot, hang on. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really know what it does. Next person, Syax. So Syax, he'll fight. Each character from the organization fights in a different fighting style compared to Keyblades. While the Keyblades, you can choose somewhat the fighting style, the fighting stance always is the same, which I do partially hate, but I don't fully mind it, but I do wish they would change that. And I do hope they will change that in the future, but for now, it is what it is. So yeah, as you see, we have a Claymore. We can do an aerial attack, which uses a bit of our magic. Sorry, this is just getting irritating. And then obviously we have our attacking, which focuses a lot on like heavy strikes. And that acts like that is kind of spin attack, which I find really cool. You can also, of course, dual wield, which I will show you. But yeah, his is really cool. I do enjoy it. Oh look, we got a zombie. Now, if you press Z, it will do lock on. It will show you their health, their level, and basically everything you need to know. Oh. And you'll gain money, you'll gain health orbs, magic orbs, stuff like that. Oh shoot. I accidentally clicked the armor. Whoopsie. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Sorry. Let me re-equip this. Now, of course, if you have like skins, it will look a bit more awesome. But if you don't, that's fine. Okay. Now, before I do anything, good. I'm back to my generic. Because the next person, unfortunately, is... Oh, wait, no, never mind. It is Axel. Never mind. I can return back on fight line. But yeah, okay, so let me get you Axel. Now, Axel has chakras, which are basically these little, like, this things that you can throw at people. And of course, each style looks phenomenal. I love all of his styles look really cool. But again, like I said, it really just depends on like what you view and what you like, what kind of style you like. But again, as I said, if you're going for nostalgia, 3,100. Or if you want to do the goofy ones, you can always do that. But yeah, anyways. So when you summon it, you have 2. Now by right clicking, you throw 1. If you do it again, you throw both. And they'll come back to you as always. And then of course attacking, you do a lot of spinning attacks. And then sprinting, you do a double slash. And you see that he kind of twirls it as you're walking to represent that axle. Now, if you do one singular, which isn't how he normally does it in Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, it's still around the same as using 2. But instead of a double slash, you do a singular thrust. Again, not how it's normally done, but always an option. Alright, next up we have Demiki. Demiki is interesting as his weapon doesn't, I don't remember if it exactly attacks. I think it doesn't. But yeah, his is a really interesting weapon as it is basically a guitar. And throughout this game, he is seen as one of the most annoyingest bosses to fight. Anyways, so yeah, you'll see that you pull out the guitar and you kind of start playing it. And as I thought, yeah, you can't attack, but you can do a right click, which sends out a water beam, which was very loud. Ow. And if you go into abilities, I'm pretty sure you can't really sync it. But let's try. Well, you kind of do. Again, very loud. But yeah. Now, unfortunately for Luxor, we're gonna have to switch out of Epic Fight because his just crashes the game. Luxor is the second to last, no, third to last. His are cards. So let me show you how he works. And like I said, if you try to use Epic Fight, it would crash it out, and I'm just not willing to deal with all that. No thanks. Because if you saw my vampire one, I made a oopsie and used a skin. Which kind of bugged things out. But yeah. So you pull them out. You can just do a normal attack, and you throw the cards. Now, if you do use it, it looks really cool. You can still throw the cards, but you can't do any actual attacks, unfortunately, without it crashing the game. Again, bit sad, but that's the world we live in. Alright, next one we have is Marluxia with a scythe. Again, all of his, sorry, forget there's only like one girl. Well, technically two if you count Shion. But, again, that's a story for another day. All of his look really cool. I really do like all the weapons for the organization because each one's different, unique. And in general, each organization member has a unique weapon that fits their style. Again, I really do. I love this mod. It's really good. So yeah, when we summon it, you can hold 2 and you can throw it just like you would in some mods. And I'll show you the double form, which is... Oh wait, shoot. So yeah, if you do it normally, he holds it like this. You swing both at the same time. In like a double slashing. And then you do a thrust. Now let me remove double blade. Or synced blade. You do some slashes, and then another thrust. Alright, time for the last one, which is Larxene. Now she uses knives. And again, all of them look really cool. I do like each member's weapons. And each one is, again, unique, different, and offers many different varieties. Sorry, I'm tired. But of course, nostalgia always will be my pick. Now, we'll do single, which is she pulls out 1 blade. Now, she has 4, and you can throw them out in a set of 4. And then you just do jabbing. A lot of jabbing. And a quick jab. Because really, that's all she really does is a lot of jabbing. Now we turn on sync. Resummon them. Because you always have to redo it. And then, yeah. Now it's even faster jabs. And dual. And you can throw both of them. Which does cost MP. And once your MP runs out, it'll refill over time. But yeah. So that's all the Organization 13. And like I said, the only way to untransform from the organization... Now, there is one Keyblade. And I think it's this one. Oh, give me... Shoot, I forgot. Hang on. Forgot to do that. Now, there is one Keyblade in all of this that acts differently. And I'm pretty sure it's pure-blooded. Or is it not? I forgot which one it was. Hang on. I know it's one of the reminded. Speaking of which, oh wait, it was which one? I think it was either this one. It was either that one, or it was that one. But yeah, let me change this to Oblivion. And then let me remove that. so how you leave the organization. Like I said, you need the proof of heart. So you take this, you have to remove the robes, and then when you right click it, you leave the organization. I'm gonna try this one first, because I think it is this one. But again, don't quote me on that. So, summon it. No, it's not this one. So yeah, this one acts a bit differently, which I find unique. And unfortunately, you cannot dual wield this one. But yeah, this one's really cool. If I copy the keychain, or if I get the keychain again, it's the only one that it does not work dual wielding. You will only have one, and still only use the one-handed style. Which I do find a bit sad, but it is what it is. Okay. Now, let me show you the Keyblade you probably have all been waiting for. The Keyblade. So, of course, we gain the achievement. Unfortunately, I won't do that one. But I will show you the realms, because the realms are cool. Look at this behemoth of a blade. So again, it will fit whichever style you're playing, and you can dual wield it, which I think is awesome. But yeah. It's really cool, and I do like it as the final Keyblade of the game. Alright. Now that I've shown you that, I will now show you first. Let me get all of these. And let me unlock them all. So these are shot locks, as I've said before. And what they do is when you go into here, you items and you choose shot locks. Now let me show you how they work. So by holding the middle button of your mouse, I don't think it works on passive mobs. That's fine. Anyways, but yeah. I'll show you in the Realm of Darkness, which, speaking of which, let's head to it. So, I don't know how you do it in the normal game, but how I do it is this. Dimensions. Realm of Darkness. Or let's do Castle of Oblivion so I can show you it at least. And then I'll say Dark Portal. World. And then when I click this button. Alright. Boom. We get teleported to Castle Oblivion. And like I said, Castle Oblivion is a work in progress. So do not enter it, but you can at least see it, and it's really cool. The giant castle of Oblivion. And then we have a dark portal, which I probably... But yeah. Oh shoot, I still needed those. Whoopsie. Okay, hang on. Let me real quick rejoin the organization because I need to be able to travel through the dark corridors. Anyways, okay, so now let's go to the realm of darkness. So you can do Station of Sorrow, which is where you do more of a boss fight. It's very empty, and then the realm of darkness. Now, as the organization, you can only do 3 things. So yeah, we get the achievement Darkness Within Darkness Awaits as we've entered the Dark Realm. And it's really cool. So here you'll find the Heartless, which are these enemies with no hearts. Gosh dang it, I did it again. I keep forgetting that I cannot glide. Sorry. Okay. I promise this is the last time I swear I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so let me set up everything so we can always leave. So yeah, set the name and boom. So as the organization, you can only have 3 portals, so be aware of that. What the shit? Oh. That's so odd. Huh, that's odd. Anyways, okay, so let me show you the shot locks, if it will. So we lock onto an enemy Heartless. What the? Is it not that? Up arrow, right arrow, feet. Maybe I made something different. No, that's just normal fist. No. 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 No, no. No. No, no, no. I still haven't figured... Okay, so I haven't figured out how you get it to work. Oh god. Yeah, I still haven't figured out how I get it to. No. Anyways, yeah. I don't know how to get that to do its thing. I don't know how to do it yet. So if you guys know, again, let me know in the comments. Okay. I think that's everything. At least I think that's everything I want to show you. Is there anything else? Oh, right, forms. Okay, right. Well, first I have to leave the organization to use forms. So let me do that. Yes, I could go. Okay, so there are, like I said, Valor, Wisdom, Limit, Master, Final, Light, Dark, and Rage. I'm going to show you all of them. So let's start with Valor. First, right, I have a Keyblade equipped. So I'll do Solier.
Give me strength.
So yeah, you'll notice we have a way different attack pattern. Much faster. But yeah, this one's really interesting. It doesn't do much. Wisdom.
Give me strength.
Wisdom, we shoot blue magic. That's really cool. Limit.
Give me strength.
I don't know how you... Is it this? Is it B? I don't know how I do... Wow, that's loud. I don't know how I do, like, the, reaction commands. So that one is one I'm gonna have to figure out. Okay, let me use this. Master.
Give me strength.
So we have one Keyblade spinning. And yeah, this one's really unique. Final.
Give me strength.
We have two of them spinning on our backs, and we just look sick. Yeah, the attacking animation is pretty unique. Alright, light. So we have a light charge, which is we send out pillars of light. Other than that, nothing really changes with Keyblade attacks.
Darkness.
With darkness, we get Riku's armor, and we can do dark mind. And if people run into those, they explode like that mob. We're gonna use it one last time, and wait. Again, attacking wise, nothing changes. But we use this card, and then we can do Raging Burst. How about a Psychic Freeze? shoot. I don't remember how you cycle. Is it shift? No. Control Alt. I don't remember.
Give me strength.
That's not it. That's also not it. That's not it. That's not it. There we go. Anyways, but yeah, so that's the magic. But yeah, so that's the dry forms. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with this mod. Now, Keyblade stuff, you can do that in there. So with more recipes, you can get, different Keyblades. Other than that, there's not really much else to this mod. Again, if you know how to do the, shot box, please let me know in the comments. If there's anything else you want me to explore with this mod, please let me know in the comments below. Other than that, this is, Nathan signing off, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.